Hey, welcome. And let me ask you a question. Is not knowing how people are going to receive your podcast holding you back from starting your podcast? Are you putting the brakes on starting your podcast because you don't know if people will actually listen to you? Well, what if I told you that you can guarantee that people will listen to what you have to say and you can choose the perfect message every single time to get your audience to listen to your entire message and to buy into you as a person? Well, in this training, I'm going to show you how to choose the perfect message every time so you'll never have to wonder if people will listen to you anymore using the question problem framework. Okay. What's interesting about people is that most people think that they have a procrastination problem. All right. But procrastination is only a symptom of something else, and it's not your real problem. And I'm going to explain that to you here. Okay. It's not your real problem. You probably thought to yourself that you're just lazy because you procrastinated on starting your podcast, even though God has told you over and over and over to start. And you're trying to desperately break this procrastination problem. But listen, I assure you that you're working on the wrong problem. See, you don't have a procrastination problem because, again, procrastination is just a symptom of a much bigger problem. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's go here. So here's you, right? And I'm going to drill these because we're gonna put some hands on you, all right? Some shoes on you, so we'll know that's you. Come here, and we just got a straight face because we feel like we have a problem, right? And when we feel like we have a problem, and we feel like that problem is procrastination, okay? But the real problem that you have is called anxiety, okay? Because we think we're procrastinating, all right? Procrastination, all right. So we think we have procrastination. That's what we think, all right? In our little head bubble, we think, hey, we have a procrastination problem. And really, the real problem is anxiety because this procrastination is just a symptom, all right? It's a symptom. It's a symptom of having anxiety. So what we really have is anxiety, okay? And anxiety is when you take your present energy. So let's just say this is our energy source, and we're using this energy source in the present, all right? And here's the future, all right? All right, or reality, okay? Reality in the future, okay? So right now, this is present. All right, so right now, we're using this energy in the present to think about an undesirable thought, okay? So we're using present energy and we're going to put it on a future result, okay? So here's our future result, whatever that result is, all right? And we think this is a negative result, so we're going to put a negative result. So we're taking this present energy that we have right now that can fuel our body, and we're putting it on a future negative result, okay? So that's what's happening. So in our mind, all right, in our mind bubble, we're taking this energy and we're putting it on a future negative result, all right? And most people procrastinate because they have an undesirable vision of the future that the future is going to hold. In fact, the definition of procrastination is the act of delaying or postponing something. So procrastination shows up because we want to postpone or delay the undesirable vision that we're having, okay? So we're having this negative result in our head, all right? We have this negative result in our head, and what we want to do is we want to stop this from happening, or we want to postpone it, all right? We want to postpone this from happening because we don't want this to happen, right? So what we do is we don't do anything with our hands. Our hands are stagnant, right? We do nothing with our hands. We want to postpone that negative result that's coming, okay? So what does that mean? That means we postpone things because we don't think they're going to work, right? And so you spend all of your energy playing a movie in your head of failing. But guess what? It hasn't happened. So it doesn't exist in the space and time that we're living in yet. So, but you believe wholeheartedly that it's not going to work. So let me let you in on a secret here. Let me let you in on a little small secret here. And that secret is this: whether you believe something is going to fail or you believe something is going to work, you still have to believe, right? You have to believe whether it's going to work or you have to believe it's not going to work. Either way, you have to believe. So you might as well believe that it's going to work, right? So if you're going to spend energy on something, you might as well spend energy on a result that you actually desire, right? You still have to believe no matter what. So you might as well believe that it's going to work. So when I put all of my energy into thinking something that it's something is not going to work, I don't have the ability to put all of my effort into what I'm trying to do, or may not be able to put any effort into what I'm trying to do. So if I want to overcome procrastination, then this is what I have to do. So if I want to overcome procrastination, okay, so here's me again. All right, here's me again. All right, put these hands here. We got hands. Don't laugh at my hands. All right, we got hands here. We got shoes. All right, so this is me. If I want to overcome procrastination, right, then what I have to do is I have to play a different movie in my head, or one of a positive result. Okay, I want to play a movie of a positive result. Okay, so when I play that movie of a positive result, what happens is this positive results travels down from my thinking. Okay, it travels down from my thinking and goes to my heart. Okay, that's a heart there. All right, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So that positive result travels down to my heart, and when it travels to my heart, it creates something else here, and what it creates is anticipation. All right, patient. This thing wants to do whatever it wants to do. All right, so anticipation. So it creates anticipation, and what does anticipation do? And don't laugh at my words. It creates movement in my hands. All right. Movement in my hands. And when it creates movement in my hands, it makes me want to do the things that I'm trying to do to make that reality, that positive result happen. Okay. It's trying to make me get to that positive result. All right. And so because I am having a positive result in my head, that moves down to my heart. It creates anticipation. The anticipation makes my hands move. And then that's how I get over, that's how I actually get over the feelings of anxiety. That's how I get over procrastination, because I am thinking about a different result, a positive result that I actually want. And like I said, that result creates anticipation in my heart. And that's, my friends, that's actually how the law of attraction works. You hear about the law of attraction? This is how it actually works. So instead of thinking of what if it doesn't work, we need to ask a different question. What if it does work? How great is this going to be when I start my podcast and people start listening? It's going to be great, right? Of course it will. And when you think good things are going to happen, then good things will most likely happen. And the same is true if you think negative thoughts. Negative things will most likely happen. You see, most people think that people won't listen to their podcast because they're already playing a mental movie of failure in their head. So let me ask you a question. While we're sitting here. Who came to you in person and said, hey, if you ever put out a podcast, I'm not going to listen to it? Who said that? Literally. Has anybody literally come to you and said, hey, if you ever put a podcast out, I'm just not going to listen to it? Right? Nobody has said that. And you may think your family is going to talk about you or your friends are going to talk about you when you put your podcast out. You know, they might say negative things about you. Well, listen, people actually want to be associated with other people who are actually doing big things. And when you put out a podcast, something like that, starting a podcast is a big thing, and they were most likely going to be proud of you. And if they do talk negative about you, then congratulations. Now you know who isn't supporting you, and then you don't have to invite them to your podcast success party when you reach your 1 millionth listener, right? So see how that works? So see, we get so wrapped up in worrying about what other people are going to say that we don't see the ease of opportunity that is in front of us. Because look, you don't have to worry about people not listening to you if you have content they want to hear. And there's a way to know exactly what people want to hear. Do you want to know how? Because they will tell you. They literally will tell you. Well, how are they going to tell me, Derek? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because I have a framework that I'll teach you how to find out what people actually want to hear and choose the perfect message every time that people actually want to actually tune in and listen to. All right. So, you know what is so amazing about the first time I actually used this framework? Because I realized that I had the ultimate cheat code to getting people to listen to me. But it didn't always start that way. When I first started running my business, I struggled on social media. Like, I struggled really bad. Like, I'm talking to the point that I was excited if I even got 13 views on a post. Like, it was bad. I was searching for an answer because I knew that I had good things to say. I just needed people to hear me say them, right? Because nobody was listening. Nobody was listening to me on social media. And I literally just wanted to give up. I was telling people what I thought they wanted to hear, not what they wanted to hear, right? It's like, I wanted to help youth athletes run faster because I had coached high school track and I was very successful, and I wanted to continue coaching after I quit my teaching job to start my pressure washing business. But that mean old algorithm, we talk about that mean old algorithm on Instagram and TikTok, kept me from getting my message out. And I had already quit my pressure washing business that I was making six figures to do this because I believed in it. And I wanted to get off that truck. I didn't want to keep getting bleach in my eyes. You understand what I'm saying? And if I didn't get people to pay attention, then my family actually would starve because I was the breadwinner. I was making six figures doing the pressure washing company. And if I stopped, then my family was going to starve. And I didn't want that. I'm big on family. Love my family, and I wanted to take care of them, right? But one day I came across a video by Eric Thomas. And in the video, he said he just looked at his comments and he saw what people were saying and asking. And then he would just make videos about those things. Then people would say to him, it's like you're here listening to me in my conversations. And like, he had said this on a video. He was like, praise God. You said it right there in the comments. I just read the comments. You know what I'm saying? That's when I realized, oh, people want to hear about their problems, not what I want to tell them about. Like, it's like, duh, right? Like, you should have known that. But it wasn't so obvious at that time. So I started looking for people's problems, and I started providing solutions to their problems in my social media posts. And then the very first video I did to address one of the major concerns about running for children, I got 1.3 million views. And over the next 5 days, I ended up gaining 13,000 followers. And over the course of 2-3 months, I ended up gaining 29,000 followers on that one account. So then I was like, it ain't real unless you do it on Instagram, right? So then I did it on Instagram. And the third video that I put up did 1.7 million views. And then I gained about 13.2 thousand followers in the course of 2 or 3 months there. So I was like, oh, it's real. And then guess what? It worked on YouTube. Then it worked on Facebook. And it worked on my podcast. Then I told my wife about what to do. She used that same exact strategy. And she gained 1 million views on her very next video on TikTok, right? So let me ask you a question. You've gotten this information from me and you want to know kind of how you can put all this stuff together. Well, I'm putting all of this stuff together for you in my 5-day purpose-driven podcast challenge, where you're going to learn the entire 5P podcast system. And also included with that system is exactly how to create the perfect message for your people, okay, for your podcast audience, right? So I'm going to go through step by step everything that you need to know for that. Now, my purpose-driven podcast challenge is free, but I want to invite you to go VIP this time, all right? And the reason why I want you to go VIP is because we have a lot of things, a lot of goodies in this VIP that is going to help you supercharge your podcast career. Okay, we're gonna get your podcast up and running, get it started, and get you on the fast track there. Okay, so I want to let you take a look at this VIP package here. All right, and this VIP package is amazing. I just changed this, guys. Like literally, just changed this package here. And we're probably going to add a few more things to it maybe here. But look, in the VIP, of course, you get the 5 days of podcast training. All right. You're also going to get the podcast challenge workbook. All right. That wonderful workbook that I created that you guys are going to get access to. You're going to have that downloadable PDF that you can get. All right. You're going to also get access to the Purpose Driven Podcast Challenge Facebook group. All right. Which you're already in. So you got that. Then you're going to get access to the Purpose Driven Podcast Challenge VIP Training Center. Now, this is a real goodie, man. This training center is worth $600. He's got $600, probably more than $600 worth of training in there. It's probably like $1,500 worth of training inside of this training center. And so what's included in that training center is a bunch of different things, right? So you're also going to get how to choose the perfect message for your podcast episodes, where I deep dive into this. All right. Then you're going to get how to structure the perfect podcast episode. All right. Then you're gonna get the how to attract listeners on social media fast. So you don't have to ever worry about social media, right? Getting people on social media. I'm gonna show you how to do that real fast. I'm gonna show you how to structure your perfect podcast episode so that you don't have to worry about having your confidence on camera. You don't have to worry about losing your thought process during the time that you're doing your podcast. You don't have to worry about not having enough to say. Right. So all of that's going to be in there. You're also going to get exclusive access to the digital copy of the book, Building a Purpose-Driven Podcast, How to Start and Launch an Informative, Impactful, and Influential Podcast. Now, this is a real goodie. All right. There's millions of dollars of information packed into this book, because in this book, I'm going to show you step by step how to start your podcast with the 5P podcast system. Everything is laid out in this book. All right. This is the same information that you would get if you were to do a one-to-one session with me, right? If you were doing a one-to-one session for a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, all of that information that I'd be telling them is actually in this book. It's a labor of love, is yours, included with the package. Also, you're going to get a hot seat Q&A session with me where I'm going to answer any of your questions. You can ask me anything. I'm going to give you advice as if you were sitting with me one-to-one, and we were having a one-to-one conversation, and you had paid me and hired me to come in and to consult with you or coach you on building your podcast. I'm not going to hold back anything. I'm going to tell you exactly what I need to tell you in there. Now, this whole package is worth $2,000, so $1,973. Right? You're only going to get it for, it says $197. You're not going to get it for $197. You're going to get it for $100 off that price. You're only going to pay $97. $97. So if you're interested in getting this package right now for $97, now we only have 10 spots. All right, we only have 10 spots. So only $97 for this entire package. Now that's well worth $2,000 worth of stuff. So we were selling it for $197. It's only $97. So ignore that one there. It's only $97. All right. So the way I see it is you have two choices. You can either choose to do nothing. And if you do nothing with the information that you just learned, you'll get nothing. Or you can choose to take the step, take a leap of faith, and actually get out here and do it. So if you want to get into the challenge, then you can go absolutely free. Or, like I recommend, go ahead and go VIP, because you're going to get more out of this. If you go VIP, you're going to get those great trainings. You're going to be able to get into the training center, and you're going to get all of the goodies, right? And remember, the 10 times better than money back guarantee. If you get in and you feel like you didn't get 10 times more than what you spent on it, then I will give you your money back, and you get to keep all of the goodies and still be able to stay logged in to the training center, and as it updates, you'll be able to get those. So that's my offer to you. It's up to you. The ball's in your court now. So if you want to get that, go ahead and type me under this video. Type me under this video, and I will send it to your inbox. All right. So with that being said, guys, man, I'll talk to you soon.